Alright, here we go. We got to look at the guitar. Give you a shot of it here so you can see what it looks like again. Alright, so the guitar's been sitting for a few days and it's been really humid. I haven't had my air conditioning on. And let's see if I'm in tune. Not bad. Not bad at all. Just a tiny bit off, but nothing really. That's a Peterson strobe tuner, so they're pretty accurate. So they pick up minute little. Alright, so time to take the strings off. Because the whole objective of this video is I am going to sand and finish the guitar. I'm going to save the strings. I'm going to just wind them up into a circle and then fold them back on top of itself to hold them in a circular shape and then reinstall them. Okay, time to take the bridge off. Now this bridge, even though it's an inexpensive bridge, has Allen screws in it to help hold it on, kind of like a Tone Pros type of bridge, so you don't get any rattling, or if you change strings, they stay on. You don't have to worry about them falling off when you're moving the guitar around. Personally, I just change my strings one at a time. That's the way I do it. I'm in no hurry. I'm just a hobbyist playing guitar. I'm not doing gigs or anything, so it doesn't matter. One at a time works fine. And the tailpiece is the same way. The tailpiece has got Allen screws in it also to help hold it on so it doesn't fall off. Alright, time to take the neck off. Alright, now we get a shot at the epoxy again. I mean, it's not the gorgeous looking, but it worked, you know. It was what I come up with at the time. I was on a time crunch because I had a hip replacement surgery coming up, so I had to get that neck on and make sure it was going to work right, so I could take a few weeks off and get myself repaired. Alright, there's the shot of the inside. Now that putty that I put in there, some of it stayed soft. You can see where some of them I can put my thumbnail in, and that's been a week or two after I put it in. At least a week, probably not two, but a week. Okay, so now I'm giving you a shot of the body of what it looks like before I sand it, so you can kind of have an idea of what it looks like. There's a lot of tear out in this. The veneer is really thin so that I cannot sand it very much. So otherwise you just go right through it and then it really looks blotchy and shitty. Once again, the whole objective of this project was to get that neck on, test it out, make sure it's working right, and not spend a whole lot of money. Use what I got on hand as much as possible. Giving you a shot of the sides, you'll see that where there's some glue squeeze out in there. I tried to sand as much of it off as I can, but I wasn't going to spend a whole lot of time and effort on this guitar. It's a cheap body. And the back side of the guitar wasn't too bad. I believe this is mahogany. It looks like mahogany to me. It could be a Kume or something else. I have no idea. Person didn't specify, and I didn't care. Okay, here's the sander that's going to do some of the sanding, and here's the paper that I used. It's 150 and 400. Now here's the dyes that I use. These are, I believe you pronounce it Angelus. One is, it's a dark brown, one is a yellow, and one is orange. And then I bought a can of satin finish, satin clear. Okay, here's a shot of the guitar after it's been stained. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that'll show you how to stain a guitar. This was not a hard task to do, so I'm just kind of giving you a shot of what it looks like. It's mainly orange with a little tiny bit of yellow in the middle. I put orange on first, and then right in that area there I put just a little bit of yellow, kind of give it a little something to pop, you know. I really didn't want to go with a sunburst, but just something, a little contrast color to lighten up that area, because it had kind of some figuring in that area that was made it kind of a little interesting, something to look at. And then the backside, and the backside didn't come out very well because I didn't do the I should have put filler in it and then sanding sealer and sanded, you know, layers as I put both of those on and get it to come out nice and smooth. Then the dye would have come out a lot more even. This is blotchy, and the satin didn't really come out very well. I had to end up sanding a lot of this down. I tried steel wool, but that wouldn't touch it, so I had to get some sandpaper. I got 800 grit sandpaper. Alright, so we got finish on the guitar, and you've seen what it looks like. And now I'm going to do an overview on here. You can see I got strings on it now. I was able to reuse all the strings except for the very thinnest string. That broke on me. You think it would have broke up by the tuner, where the locking tuner locks into it. Nope. The windings come unwound here in the tailpiece and popped off. I don't think I've ever had a string do that before. That is just weird. And you can see I got a different pickup in this. This is a 1980s Les Paul pickup. I believe they called it a dirty finger back then. I looked up the patent number, and that's what it says according to the information. Alright, so we're going to do an overview here and give you some thoughts about what I think about the build. Okay, here's the guitar once again. And as far as I'm concerned, this hardware for $47 or $37, whatever I paid, somewhere in there, was well worth the money. It looks pretty good. It's kind of got a glossy kind of finish, but not too bright. And it sounds good. When you play it, you don't hear any, you know, extra tinging or twanging or anything. So I think that was pretty good. Now, as it comes to the body, like I said, it's just a cheapo body. I didn't expect much out of it because I just said, give me whatever you got. If it's a second, a third, whatever, and the person's like, yeah, we got one, and sent it to me. Okay, so now let's go down the neck. As necks go, this neck is pretty good. It plays good. It sounds good when I'm playing it. And the tuners are working great. So I can't really fault it that way. It stays in tune about the same as my other wood neck guitars. I mean, I thought it would be a little more stable than that, but it's not terrible. Not terrible at all. Okay, so this is an expensive neck though. This is basically $700 neck with the tuners and everything all done with, so that's not cheap. But I wanted something that would last for years and I could change from one body to another if I need to, and I wouldn't have to worry about it, you know, over time going bad on me. I think this thing will last for as long as I need it to last. Alright, so you know, all in all, the cost of the guitar, $50 for the body. I can't remember, like $37. Let's just say $50 for the bridge. Pickups were used. The neck, like I said, $690. As far as I'm concerned, that's close enough to $700, in my opinion. I don't get too nitpicky when it's just a few bucks. And so, for just a little experience, like I said, I learned some things. I knew I would make mistakes. Once again, that's why I bought the cheap body. And we're going to move on. The next build is going to be something that I have wanted to do for years. It's a design that I have, that I drew myself. And it is going to be different. And I bought a headless neck because of... like I said, my whole idea behind this was to build super lightweight bodies because I'm getting older and I don't want to have this heavy thing hanging over me. And I talked about chambering this body, and I'm not going to do it because of the neck dive that I've got. The neck was supposed to be 1.6 pounds supposedly, and then the tuners, according to Graphtec, said it's 4.96, so it's a little less than a half a pound. So you're talking 2 pounds. But when I hold the neck by itself in my hands, it feels heavier than 2 pounds. And I'm not going to go out and buy a, you know, high-tech scale to weigh it in just to find out for sure. All I know is if I take more weight off of this, the neck dive is only going to get worse. And I still got pennies down in here in the bottom corner to kind of give it a little bit of weight so it leans this way. I don't know if I'll ever put a volume knob on it or not. I don't know. We'll see what the future brings. If this guitar plays good over the future, I'll use it. You know, I'm not going to just get rid of it. And, well, let's hear what it sounds like. I'll do a little playing, and then we can go on from there. Yes, a little DC finish there again. And I want to say to you all, the ones that have been viewing my videos, stick around with me. The next one will be more in detail. I'll show more. I do not have a shop, so it's going to be just, I might be doing stuff at the back end of my pickup out in the woods somewhere, or who knows where. All right. You have a good day. Peace.